Welcome to the Notion tutorial for beginners, where we're going to go over the basics of Notion, probably less than 10 minutes to quickly get you started. I'm Jonathan Cunha. I'm a tech consultant. I help people get smarter with technology. So, what is the problem that Notion solves and why would we want to use it? And the problem is there's really too much information both in your personal life and your business life. To store in our brain. Plus, it takes a long time for us to store it from our short term memory to our long term memory. So, we need a tool to quickly just throw a bunch of information in. It could be text, it could be images, it could be files, videos, or or important details. And then Notion will allow us to, since it's all in one app, that allows us to quickly store and then retrieve it when we need it most. That's the end of the day. It functions like a second brain for you. To get started with Notion, there are many different plans, but to get started, you're going to start off with the free plan and then eventually just grow to the $8 a month one annually. I think it's like $10 monthly. Yeah. And that's pretty much just going to get you unlimited blocks and uploading files. Those are the main two that you're really going to be working for. And then if you're a business, you're definitely going to be looking at the $15 one so that you can share files, have a bigger storage, and then work collaboratively across your teams. But you could definitely get started with the $8 a month. Super affordable, gets you started with Notion. Now, what are the elements of Notion? Notion is comprised of three things: databases, which is just a fancy word for lists, so a collection of information like a list of recipes. Then second is a page, which is one page or one part of that list. Like think of it like a document basically. And then inside that document or page, you have blocks. And blocks are just, think of them like containers for information. And that could be a container for text, images, bullet lists, headers, files, videos, PDF files. Each one of those is a block. So blocks are stored in pages, and a collection of pages is stored in a list or a database. That's the basics. But let's do an actual demo of Notion to see what it looks like. So here, let's say I really love cookies, and chocolate chip cookies are like my favorite. Oh my god, I could just, you put a dozen on the stove and it's gonna be gone by the end of the night. But I love cooking them, but I don't want to remember all the ingredients. For me, trying to remember all the ingredients, all the steps, and all the details of it, trying to store that in my brain would not be very efficient use of my time. I want to quickly create a list. Think of it like Notion functions like flashcards, basically. You store information so that you could quickly retrieve it when you need it most. And so here, this is a database or a list of recipes, or each one of these are my favorite. You got chocolate chip, you got sugar, you got peanut butter, and then we could also view this in just a regular list. Same thing, just viewed in a different way. So I can see the three recipes that are my favorite: chocolate chip, sugar, and peanut butter. And then I can see more details about the list in general. I can see which ones are my favorite, which ones I'm allergic to. Even I misspelled allergic. I can see quickly at a glance how long is the cooking time in minutes to cook each one of these. And this is just arbitrary at the end of the day. Chocolate chip cookies could take 45 minutes. So if I'm quickly in a rush, I need to quickly look at this and be like, which one of these can I cook the fastest, or which one of these I have enough time to cook? And then I can also store important information like dates. Like, when was the last time I cooked this? March 12th, I cooked my chocolate chip cookies, and then February 13th was the last time I cooked sugar cookies. Oh, not bad. Pretty cool. But all that information is quickly at a glance stored externally in Notion and not in my brain. So when I need a list of recipes, I could quickly come here. And then if I go so this is just a database. Database is a collection of pages. And when I open one of these pages, basically this page is a document, basically, where you have the title. I like calling this, like, you call them columns if you're familiar with Excel. Also, I call them metadata, additional information about the list that's unique to the list. These are what's called like drop-down lists. So I could select one of these different options. This is a number list, so I could change the number. It'd be like, oh, this takes actually 15 minutes to cook. But it holds numbers, this holds a drop-down list, and this holds dates, basically. Let's fix that. I can do it later. So those are also called properties, or important information about this document. And then we can see in this document we have different information, such as an image, a table of contents, and if I click on it, it'll take me right to that section right there. And then I have a header, and then I have a checklist. So each one of these basically is a block. You see, that's a block. This one right here, every time you see this little like domino thing, that's basically a block. And then we have checklists, which you can check off. You can even turn some of these to a bullet point list. So I could turn this into bullet points, so you could store checklists, bullet points. Then we have our header for steps for the ingredients, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I add another one, make more. So it has a quick list. And then I also have a video file. So I could click here to see maybe a video of how to cook these cookies. This is my favorite cookie recipe, and we're going to go through it step. And then, I'm going to do a file too. But so we can see different types of information, quick at a glance as reference, all in a document. Try and do this in Word or any other like tool is very cumbersome. It adds extra steps that we don't need. We could quickly just store information, organize it in a way that's coherent so that when we need it, it functions like a flashcard and we can quickly retrieve or just use it as a reference as we're trying to accomplish basically a task or a project. So we're going to build this same thing from scratch so I can show you the steps on how to create your own getting started. So we're going to go right to back to the basics. Yep. Okay, so let's start with building this out. We're going to build this from scratch basically. So starting from scratch, I'm going to say I need basically a list of recipes. So you want to think about everything that you do as groups in a list. Could be documents, it could be a list of contacts, it could be a list of just tasks, it could be a list of just files that are important for you. So and that's where and it's basically called a database. So to create a database, you could do one of two things. You can create the plus symbol right here, and then you can add all the different blocks. But we're going to do the very basic. Now you could scroll, but just start typing database. Now we'll go all the way to the bottom. Let's say databases. Start with a very simple, just choose list view. Database, inline, there we go. Boom. So database inline, that is just basically a list. Remember, looks just like this. And now we want to give it a name. I'm going to call it my recipe. Favorite recipes. So now that my list of recipes have a name, I'm going to now down each one of these. Each one of these are pages. So I'm going to call this chocolate chip. I could call this sugar cookies. Now we can add properties into it. Now there are many different properties, so we're going to click the plus symbol to add a property. Like, let's say I want to store the cooking time it takes. So that's going to be a number. So I'm going to click on the plus symbol. And it says, oh, what type? And we have many different types. You could do a text, a number, drop-down list, but we're going to start very simple, a number list. And it's just a bucket to a container to hold all the information is going to be the same type. So then I'm going to say, okay, it's number, and I'm going to say this is cooking time. Just give it a name and minutes. And then I'm going to click out here to save it. And then I can move it over here. And say I don't like this one, I'm going to right click on it and click delete. Are you sure? Yes. So I deleted a property or column, added a new one, gave it a type of number, and I can fill in the number. This takes 45 minutes. This takes 30 minutes. Great. Now let's say I want to add a drop-down list. So I'm going to click the plus symbol. I'm going to choose select. And then I'm going to call it favorite. I'm going to say, when I click on it, it's going to give me the option for the first option. I'm going to say my favorite. And then this one, sugar cookies, so. And so, I could change the order of them. And this is helpful when you could sort by you could sort basically by any one of these columns. And then last one, let's say I am allergic. Can't spell allergic. And there's peanut butter cookies. Cool. So we added 2 columns. And then we can sort. Let's say peanut butter cookies takes 25 minutes. Arbitrary. But let's say I want to sort my list. And this is helpful so that you can see. So what we do, we'll click on the sort button right here. And it says, which property do you want to sort it by? I want to sort it by my cooking time. I can sort it ascending, shortest at the top, but I want to do descending, so the one that takes the most at the very top. Cool. Now Notion gives us options. It says, hey, you want to save this view for everyone? I will say yes. Great. So we're off to a good start. And then we can rename our list. I'm going to click on this view right here, say rename, and choose I want to view this as a list, because that's basically what it is. So now I have at least my database roughly outlined for what information is important about my cookie list. So let's start filling out one of the pages with information. So I'm going to click on it. Now Notion will open it up in a side view. We're going to make this full screen by clicking here so that we can focus on it. Now let's say I have an image I want to quickly store in here. You have two options that you could do. You can do by clicking the plus symbol. Actually, yeah, let's do 3 ways. 3 ways to add a block. You can click on the plus symbol, scroll down to image, and then it says upload. We're going to upload the file right here, and I have my cookies image right here. Boom. Pretty easy. Let's do another way. Next way is drag and drop. So say I have my folder view right here. Here's the cookie image. I could drag it right in, and the little blue line is going to show me where it's going to drop. I'm going to let go, and we can drop the image by drag and drop. The third way, the pro way, is by using shortcut keys. That's where Notion is superpower, is learning the shortcut keys, and that's going to be the backslash. See how it says press space? You never want to use AI. AI is just going to make you dumber at the end of the day. So we're going to show that we're smart because we remember shortcuts, we're pro. So it says, oh, backslash. Okay, I can do that. So if I press the backslash key, it's going to bring up the same list, but I'm going to now start typing the word image. See how quick, and then I'm going to press enter. Nice, we still get the same option. I'm going to click upload, and there's my cookie image. So those are 3 different ways that you can create a block, basically. You can do it manually with the plus symbol, you can drag and drop, or you can use the pro shortcut keys is the way to go. So we have an image. Next, let's add a header, because we want to organize information. Just like if you're reading a table of contents in a book, you have your headers, and you have your more detailed information. And then headers are cool because we could do table of contents. So I'm going to click on the plus symbol. I'm going to scroll down. See how headers, it shows you really, when you hover over any one of these blocks, it's going to show you examples right next to it. So you could do heading 1, heading 2, and heading 3. So that's going to be very easy for you. But I'm going to just do heading 3 for everything. If it's just one list, H3, heading 3. But if you're like, oh, I got a lot of information, then you could break it down to H1, H2, H3. I'm just going to do an H3, call this ingredients. Nice. I'm going to press enter, and now I'm going to paste all the ingredients rather than type them out one by one. So let's say I have a bunch of ingredients. I'm just going to paste this in. Now let's say I want to change the type. Let's say all of these actually pasted like this. Let's say they all look like this. So let's say you pasted and it's just a bunch of text. Let's say I want to turn all of these into bullet lists. So I'm going to click on, you have 2 options. You could click on the first, hold shift, and click on the last one to select, or you can click anywhere on the outside of where the plus symbol is, right to the left of it. If you click and hold, you can drag your mouse. So that's another way to select. Now, those are 2 ways best ways to select. The second thing is, how do we change the type? So now that they're selected, I could do the plus symbol. Oops. If I actually right click on it, yeah. So once they're selected, you right click and you're going to choose turn them into. And we could turn them, these are all our blocks right here. You have your text, headings, lists. We want a bullet list. So if I click bullet list, it will turn them all into a bullet list. Now, we can also use shortcut keys. And this is, you could go and reference just shortcut keys. But I could do Command Option 4, or actually it's 5. You could try and memorize them, but it's so easy. So shortcut keys, so pretty much where you can highlight, and I can press Command Option 5 or 0, bring it back, 5 to make them in that. But let's say I even want to change them into a checklist. So they're highlighted, turn into and a checklist. So we're pasting information and we're changing it into bullet lists or checklists or just regular text. But that looks good. So I'm going to do the same thing with steps. So let me grab the steps so I can repeat the same steps. Copy. I'm going to paste over here, bring it over here. So I'm going to create a new header because I want to organize my information so it's easily referenced. And I could press the plus symbol and do another H3. I could do that. Or I could be pro and click the backslash and then start typing H3. And there's the H3, and I'll press enter. So 2 different ways we could quickly create headers. And then if I want to delete, I'm going to click on that one and I could delete a block by doing that. Wonderful. So now I'm going to paste, Control V. So these are the steps. And then I want to turn these steps into a list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simple list. So I'm not going to sit here and type 1, 2, 3. That would take too much time. This is why it's so helpful to learn the shortcut keys. So again, we have 2 ways to select multiple blocks. You can click on the first one, hold Shift, and click on the last. You can see how they're separated. Each one is a block. Or you can go move your mouse just to the left of the plus symbol, click and hold your mouse over and drag, and then you can release your mouse. So those are 2 ways you could select multiple blocks. And then I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to say turn into, and I want to make it a list. So number list right here. Boom, and it automatically numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way to the last one. And if I add another step, I just press enter and it will continue to number for me, which is nice. So then let's say after that I have a video I want to add. So we can do two different ways. We can do the slow way, click on plus, scroll all the way down to find a video. There it is, video. It says, hey, do you have a YouTube link? If you have a YouTube link, you could paste it right here and it will embed that video from YouTube, which is nice. But we have it saved on our computer, so we're going to click upload, choose video, and I'm going to find that cookie video, double click on it, get a little upload status, and bam. Trying to do like adding video and images and files to another app is like, there's so many multiple steps. That's why Notion is so cool. You could put multiple different types, it's like multimedia, videos, files, images, all in one quickly. So here's my video. This is my favorite cookie recipe, and we're going to go through. Great. And all of this is stored in one page, so I could easily reference this. Let's say I had a PDF file that I wanted to save here. Oh, John, what's the other way too for doing the pro way for adding a video? I'm going to do the backslash, type the word VI. I don't even have to type the whole word. It starts coming up right there. And I could just press enter. Boom, gives me the same option. Upload, choose video. The shortcut keys are going to be the game changer of really getting the most out of Notion. But since I have extra videos, I could click on the block to delete it. So click on the block, go all the way to delete, and I could delete blocks. Let's say I had a PDF file I wanted to store here. I had a recipe in a PDF file. So I could do the slow way, click the plus symbol, go all the way down to PDF, file. It says, hey, you want to upload it? Yep, choose. And then click, here's a PDF file right here. So it's going to upload. This is so helpful if you have a bunch of PDF or any documents for like your personal life or for work, and you're scattered across Google Drive or stored on your computer, and you're searching through all your folders on your desktop trying to find them. That's why it's super nice. You put the file where you need it, like in the recipe, where the recipe is. So I'm doing the recipes. I can quickly see file. Now, if I click on this, it's going to open that PDF in a new page. So there's the PDF document. But what if I want to embed it inside of it so I can see it without opening? That is going to do, if you do backslash PDF, is it embed? No, upload. Now by doing that, it embeds the PDF. So I don't even have to open it in a file. I could just quickly at a glance view it, or quickly just see it without, because sometimes you have a bunch of PDF files or files, you're like, I don't know what's in there, I got to open up each one all the time. But it's stored as a file, or it's stored as embedded as the file. Nice. Let me take a look to see. Yep, that looks good. So I have now everything I need organized to make chocolate chip cookies. So let's say I have a project or task like baking cookies. I could quickly choose from a list which ones do I want to cook, and then in it I could click open, go, oh yeah, that's what the image looks like. Ooh, what ingredients do I want? I could quickly go to the shopping store, go yep. Oh, I had to make 2 trips, start on Monday. Oh, I got to pick it up, but came back the next day so I can continue right where I left off. That's why Notion is great for like a task manager. I can see the steps. We know how to turn. Let's say I want to turn these steps into a list or a checklist so I could work through them. So I'm going to highlight, right click, turn into to-do list. So then I can start cooking and be like, oh, yep, I preheated the oven. Yep, I'm going to start mixing. Yep, I need to beat the eggs. Then I need to get a separate bowl. Oh no, someone called 5 minutes, come back. Oh, where did I leave off? Then I need to add the dry ingredients. I'm on it. So that's why this is super helpful. It acts like a reference, like a flashcard where you can store images, list, videos, files, and even PDF documents at a glance. All of this in one document, because again, the whole goal is to not store it into your brain, is to quickly just dump it into a page, organize it into a list or a database so that you can quickly retrieve it when you need it most. So if we go back to our recipe list, there are different ways to view the list. So I could click on the list, and let's say I want to view it by images because I'm very visual. I could click, go duplicate. It says, hey, do you want to duplicate that? Yes. And I want to call this images, so I can view it by image. And the layout, I'm going to choose the second option here, which is board. And in it, I have some extra options here. I want to show the card preview. It says, hey, what do you want to show? The cover? No. I want to show me the first thing that's in the content of it, which is an image of a cookie. Hey, it's kind of zoomed out. I wish it would fit it. Well, I could click, where is it? Fit image right here. Yep. And then it kind of shrinks it so that I could quickly see it. And then I would like to see that instead of medium, I want to make this larger. Boom. Or you can make it the whole list smaller. Either or, very simple. So now I could view a list of my recipes visually or in a simple list, and then I could sort it based on, say, cooking time, for example. So that's the basics of Notion, and basically creating a list or a database and then dropping information into a page such as text or images or files so that it's quickly saved and retrieved right there. So that's just the basics to get you started. There are many features in Notion. So to quickly get started, I highly recommend checking out my business Simple Tech Skills, where we do tech consulting. I work with you one-on-one to train you on how to use Notion, and then 2, help you build a custom list or a database or setup or workspace that's unique to either if you're a student, a professional, if you're an adult, or if you're a business at the end of the day, because wasting time on tutorials trying to figure it out on your own, there is too much to learn and you'll end up wasting time. So why not spend an hour with an expert, get you exactly the answers that you need? And that's what I offer. So hope you learned Notion in just a few minutes, and I hope you have a blessed day. Goodbye.